man that dominated as a player now has his first win as a coach of the Collingwood Footy Club. Please make him welcome, Nathan Buckley. How do you do, sir?
Doing well.
Welcome, mate.
Guess.
Very nice of you to come in.
Very nice.
I just said in the intro there, as a player, Anzac Day is an extraordinary experience, I would imagine, not having played in one, but to go along, how does it differ? Now you're in the coach's box and it's sort of out of your hands to a large degree.
Yeah, look, you don't have a lot of control, so to speak. As a player, you can go and influence the game physically, but as a coach, you try and set the agenda, set the direction, and then set it across to the leaders and they get the job done.
We spoke pre-game with you. The emotion of the day is it's an extraordinary thing, and it'd be folly to try and say that it is not different to a home and away game, but it is, the build-up's different. You're out there together for a long time. You go through the banner together. That it's something that any young footballer would love to do. Yeah,
we had a couple of young players play the game. Kurt Ewell played his first game, and Paul Seedsman, Ben Sinclair, Lockie Keefe. So those young fellas playing in their first Anzac Day. It's unlike any other game, really, even a final, because of the last post and the significance that it has in the calendar. And standing there as a coach, it was significant, just as significant a feeling. And the silence with 95,000 people around makes you think how lucky you are to be there. And we were lucky to get the result as well.
Bucks, I want to ask you about Dane Swan. He's a different cat, no doubt about that. He said some interesting things about Mick Malthouse coming down and having a chat to Collingwood and things like that. How is your relationship with him?
Yeah, I get on well with Swanee. He's like, we're different characters, different people. He loves having a bit of a laugh, and he throws a few curveballs in there, as he did sort of after the game yesterday. But he's a performer. He's got great pride in his performance, and he's been able to build as we've gone through the first 5 games of the season. And when he plays games like yesterday, you can't help but love him as a coach.
There he is here, of course, kicks a goal and rubs his tummy because some people have said that he's looking fat. Here he is, wait for it, like Buddha. There he is there. But then Bucksy says, oh, what are you going to do this weekend? He goes, oh, I'll go and have a couple of cheeseburgers and go to KFC. So it's good for the team to have someone like that. Yeah,
look, he's politically incorrect and a little bit irreverent, and we love the way he carries himself around the footy club. And when you've won 3 Copeland trophies and a Brownlow in the last 4 years, you've probably got a little bit of right to say whatever you want.
Now, there's been a little chat about the game plan. Even the President, Eddie, weighed in and said it's become middle class, or it's changed from being affluent or something, I don't know. Have you tweaked the game plan? Anything that the general unwashed wouldn't have noticed, but you have just tweaked up, different from when the great former coach was there?
We're trying to evolve, Sam, and we want to...
Trying to evolve?
We're trying to evolve. We're trying to play 2012 or, a modern type of footy. And
so last year's was out of date. Do I take that by... No, I'm serious. I'm not having a go. Do I take the inference that last year's is now passé?
For all 18 clubs, yeah. The game's different and it's changed.
In a year, in a summer?
Absolutely. Do you see it differently?
No.
Okay.
No, but Nathan...
You should be coaching that.
No, in a summer, you're saying since last year's grand final to now, it is significantly changed?
Yeah, well, you've probably got some guys over there that are playing it that can tell you, but I think the game it changes very quickly, and obviously tactics change and evolve, and the coaching staffs of each club, there's obviously a lot of heads in the footy departments, and there's a lot of people watching a lot of tape, dissecting, analysing, finding ways to basically beat the best side of the time. And that's what happened with us in 2011, and every side came after us and the way we were defending at the time. Now everyone's looking at Geelong and say, well, how can you beat that brand of footy? And it does change and it does evolve. And I had a feeling, basically everyone realised that as the year progressed last year, the game was changing, and you need to evolve with it.
I'd be one of the few that didn't realise that, Nathan. And, very good to have the experts in just to correct those people who speak about the game but don't really know what they're speaking about, me being one of them.
So, that's okay, because...
thanks, Gary.
Just tell us about a couple of weeks ago. And we haven't got you in here specifically, but we have to address it with the whole Mick and Eddie and you were sort of caught in the middle and handled yourself magnificently, I think. But yeah, well, was there a sense of inevitability that was going to come, that this blow-up was going to come with Mick going into the media and this sort of simmering tension, real or otherwise? Did you sort of relieved now after 4 games it's out there and done and gone?
Yeah, well, look, it probably was inevitable that it was going to come. I mean, even now, when people are uncomfortable asking about it, I don't, it's just the way it is.
Well,
I mean, Sam didn't want to ask that question. It was very good of you, Gaz, to ask it. But
so how is it, though? The way you say that's the way it is, how is it?
It just is what it is. I mean,
What the relationship then?
Oh, with Mick?
Yeah.
As good can be. I mean, he has a job in the media, and the whole thing of the last 2 weeks ago was that apparently he made some comments about the way that we were playing our football, and that's what a media commentator does. And he happens to be a person who's been involved at the club intimately for the last 10, 12 years and knows it inside out, so his comments carry more weight.
No, I'm surprised that you've gone down that track, Gary, but seeing as you have... now, come on, Nathan. That was also another backhander, almost, saying that last year was wrong and you've moved on to a different plan because you didn't win
I didn't say last year was wrong.
Well, I thought you said it was not going well last year.
So we have to evolve.
Evolve, yep, okay. How do you get on with Mick? How did you get on when he was the coach with him? How did you get on with him? And how did you get on when he was there, you was behind him last year? And why aren't you close?
How do you know we're not close?
Well, I'm assuming you're not close. Are you close?
Well, we haven't spoken for a while.
That would indicate to me you're not that close.
You're very perceptive.
What would you think he doesn't like about you, or vice versa?
To be honest, I haven't thought much about it.
Oh, you must
Everyone
have,
is absolutely.
You must have known we were going to
amazed.
ask you this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'll just check my notes.
Yeah.
No, everyone's amazed by it. It's a relationship that fascinates everyone. As I've said consistently, Mick has been a fantastic influence on my football career and on my development as a person. So I have got not a bad word to say about the man, because he's been fantastic for a lot of people that I've dealt with and that I've had associations with through my football career. Coached me for 8 years as a player. I worked under him for 2 years as an assistant coach. I've learned a lot about the game through him, and I thank him for that. And it's, as I said, everything, the opportunity that I have right now came off the back of a conversation that we had together, and we worked out what it wanted. Yeah, what it was going to look like, and if he hadn't agreed to that, well, then I wouldn't be here. So I've got him to thank for a lot of where I am at the moment.
I think people would be actually... I think you've cleared a lot of things up. I don't think people would have thought you had that opinion of him. And you are also saying that he did agree to step aside, and this has been blown out of all proportion by us or someone, because how has it got to this stage where there's a bit of angst?
Well, it's got to this stage because we performed really poorly against Carlton, and yeah, we were 1 and 2 at the time, and because things weren't going well on the football field, there had to be questions asked, and it was going to happen at some stage. It just happened to happen quite early.
So, middle of last year, you came on Footy Classified, and we asked you about the job and how you saw it, and we asked you whether Mick had been in the coaching box, because at that stage he was still, to move into that role, and you said no, he wouldn't. He didn't want him in the coaching box, which was absolutely fair enough. But then Rodney Eads appointed as a director of coaching, and now sits in the coaching box.
Yeah.
So what's the difference there?
Well, I think initially there was going to have to, and Mick and I actually discussed this at various times in 2010, so a fair way out from what was happening. And the understanding was, and I think this was part of Mick's decision not to stay, is that there needed to be some space in the handover, and that was going to happen if Mick chose to stay. That was going to come in whatever form we thought was important, and part of that was going to be that there was only going to be me in the coach's box, given that I was going to be the senior coach. So, and things have transpired the way they've transpired. Mick made the decision not to honour the contract for the last couple of years that was basically the last 3 years that was put in place a couple of years ago, and the club had to make an appointment in lieu of that, and we've moved.
This might be an unfair question, but
not
professionally, happier that Mick's not there? Not personally. Are you professionally happier that Mick's not there now as you embark on your coaching career?
Well, it is what it is.
But would you prefer it this way or not?
Well, the whole arrangement was assuming and anticipating that Mick was
That's
going
right.
to be there.
That's
If
right.
you
Now
got
he's
on,
not.
if you got on with him, it would be surely preferable that he is. If you got on with him, it would surely be preferable that he's there.
The decision was outside of my control,
Yes.
and it was basically outside the club's control because it was something Mick felt that he wanted to do and needed to do, and I'd support him with that decision. And we're now in 2012, 5 rounds into the season. If you haven't realised, then we're playing footy.
Do you have a mentor, Bucks? Do you have someone to talk to? Because it's a bloody tough
No,
job.
can you help me out, Billy?
Well, mate, I would have a couple of frothies with you, mate. Because it's a tough job to coach. You're coaching Collingwood, the biggest club in the land. You have someone to talk to about, the media or anything like that.
Yeah, look, I've got close friends that have been involved in football that know the caper, that have coached in their own right, and depending on the situation or the scenario, I sort of tap into their knowledge and their experience, and I think most people have. They're not really mentors; they're just friends.
Friends, yeah.
But I think that's important to have, and obviously Rodney with his experience has been fantastic for me as well.
Mark Neal, you coach together. Do you ring up Nealdy and say, mate, actually he'd be worse than you?
Yeah, he was getting smashed there at one stage, and I think in the end, going to the first Coaches Association, the EM before the season started, and you got 17 other people and men in the room that are going through the same situation. Some have obviously more experience than others, and some rookies like myself, and you end up understanding there's other people going through the conversations. And over a couple of beers, actually that night at the AFL launch, you sort of find out a little bit about those people and their challenges and their struggles, and you realise that it's a unique job. It's a very different environment and challenge, but it's pretty stimulating at the same time.
Now, before we finish all this, I just think people would admire you for the way you've handled yourself and for coming in, and you've been on all the media outlets, television and radio, so we'll just go one more question.
Yes, mate.
A very revered player in this competition, former player, Wayne Carey, said that he categorically had information that at least 8 players were not happy with you being the coach.
6 or 7, yeah.
He said 6 or 7. I do apologise. That's right. I've never been good at numbers. Well, he said a handful are not happy with you being in charge, being under your tutelage. What would you say to that? Have you asked people, do you like me down there?
No.
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 You speak to Wayne?
Do I speak to him?
Did you speak to him after that?
He
comment?
called me to clear up.
What did he say?
He said that
What did he say?
not many people liked Dennis Pagan when he was coaching either, and
But that's hardly an answer, is it? But did you say...
I didn't ask him the question.
No, but he rang... No, but that's him.
No. Well,
Did you say to him, Wayne, where did you get that information, and how would you know that would be correct?
well, look, no, I didn't, because I
Why
didn't care
didn't you?
for it.
What?
I didn't care for it. I'm actually there every day, and I speak to the players
Yes.
and the people at the football club that he's supposing that he has this
Yes.
information from, and I don't see any inkling of it.
No, well, that's the answer.
There you go. You asked the question.
And the result on the weekend would suggest that as well, Bucks. Just before you go, good membership. I don't know what it is now. It's nearing 70,000. Purdy said they want 150,000. You want the faithful to join.
Absolutely, and we're pretty greedy down at Collingwood, Purdy in particular. But he was at me after round 3. The Carlton result didn't help very much, so I hope the last couple of weeks have. Obviously, the members are a lifeblood, and we play for each other, but we also play for our supporters, and it's get on board, Sammy.
Yeah, no, I'll get on board. I'm going to have one more just...
Buy a membership, will you?
Would you just humour me? Would you
Well,
just humour me?
hurry
If you
up.
were a meteorologist, in weather terms, how would you describe your relationship with Mick? Cloudy, frosty, tepid, hot, sweaty, stormy, icy?
Is sweaty? Have you ever heard?
No, I've never heard.
The weather being sweaty?
Yeah, what? Well, it's 40 degrees, you're not sweaty. You'd be the only person in the world that wouldn't sweat.
We're amicable.
There's a term I've never heard of.
Amicable.
It's going to be an amicable day today.
Not sure, but if you're a footy
He's a
lover,
star.
if you're a footy lover,
We'll say
you sat. Oh, let me get there. You'd have sat back and admired this man, the way he played his footy, always, whether you're back for Collingwood or not, and the way that he's set about his journey as an AFL coach. One, he's going to be just as successful. We love and appreciate you coming in, and good luck for the rest of the year.